Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown, talking about 11th edition 40k. Which they aren't calling 11th edition, it's just hashtag new 40k.
They always do this.
Yeah,
they
I
never
know.
call them by edition until we're like 6 months into it.
And I will always give them heck for it, because they deserve it.
They do.
So, now, what we're actually talking about today is what we know so far and what our opinions on it are. Which means that, depending on when you watch this video, it might be horribly dated.
That's true. We are recording this on
Wednesday, March 8th.
8th.
So,
April 8th.
sorry, my hair doesn't tell me what the month is.
Yeah, it's not the month. It's just the day.
Yeah. Well, we're recording this on March 8th. We're recording this before the Adepticon preview. No. We're recording this on Wednesday, April 8th. So we've heard some things and learned some things. But we went to the preview.
Mm-hmm.
And despite the technical issues of the preview, we did get a bunch of information there.
I'm so glad they put text on the screen.
Thank God for that.
Because if they didn't, I would know nothing about this edition.
Cool. I mean, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, let's get out of the way what we know. We're not going to delve too much into the lore and the theming, although a little bit.
Armageddon.
Yeah, we're going back to Armageddon. I think we've already talked about this is an incredibly nostalgic box.
It's an incredibly nostalgic lead up with all of the models coming back in the end of the edition stuff.
Yeah.
All the references to old stuff.
And is anything in this box actually new?
I think the only thing that we're definitely getting that has not had a model before is the Orc Walker.
Yes, that thing. But
Because it's like a quad walker with like a minigun on top of it.
yes, that's new. But everything Space Marine.
Everything Space Marines, and I believe everything else Orcs is 100% redos.
Because Space Marines, we've seen that we're getting this new Intercessor cross, but they're using some old armor.
New Intercessor, new Vanguard Veterans, Chaplain and Jump Pack, Land Speeder. Like, all of these things are old things that we're just getting new sculpt for.
So first up, let's talk about those new Intercessors.
Yes.
Theory. Conspiracy theory number one.
We have a theory.
Let me put number one up. I think this is finally them going to be combining the data sheets for TAC Marines and Intercessors.
It took long enough.
And I hope that is the case.
I thought they were doing that in 10th edition, and they didn't do it.
Because what I want is a universe where you can roll with Primaris or Firstborn and have there not be a game difference.
I agree.
Which I know seems weird, because some people hate that. But that's what I want.
Mhm.
I don't know how they're going to make that work rules-wise, because the thing about TAC Marines is they can take a lot of different plasma guns.
Yeah,
and...
generally it's like you get one special weapon, one heavy weapon.
Right.
In an attack squad.
Whereas Intercessors ain't get crap. Intercessors
Always have the same weapon.
the one guy gets a grenade launcher.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing an Intercessor squad gets, and then like your sergeant has a pistol and a melee weapon.
All they have to do. I mean, but then they can't do where normal Intercessors now can take missile launchers or plasma.
If I had seen that in the kit box shown off, maybe, but they didn't show us that, so sure. I'm guessing there is a possibility that we do get that, because we all know that the multi-part kits that come out after the main box will be different and have different options.
They always do.
Because they always do. And I kind of hope that's what we get.
That'd be nice. Honestly, the redo of the Intercessors kit, it sounds really weird to want that, but I kind of want that.
Here's the thing. I don't want that because I think it's stupid. But if they're going to do that, I hope they take that opportunity to make Firstborn, TAC Marines, and Intercessors completely cross-compatible.
I agree.
If they don't do that, I'll be upset and annoyed, because then it does just feel like Intercessors with a new model for absolutely no reason.
Yep.
Except we had to come up with a new kit to sell.
Yeah, that would be the worst case scenario is, hey, here's a new box of Intercessors because I felt like it.
Yeah. The worst case scenario is, here's a new box of Intercessors. There's one, they're not compatible with TAC Marines. They're also not compatible with the old Intercessors.
With the old Intercessors.
Because they have one different option that the old Intercessors don't have. And that's the worst possible
option. And it's the better one.
And I think that's what I'm actually expecting to happen. But please, GW.
Please don't do this to me.
Please don't do that. So I guess, we've seen the new Vanguard Vets.
Yep, we have a thing if we want to look at it.
We have seen the new Vanguard Vets. That's an assault jump marine.
It's a jump pack Intercessor, except that is a... No, sorry, wait. That's a jump pack Intercessor leader.
Yeah.
That's a champion.
That's
it.
That's it.
But it's a whole squad of champions.
Which, to be fair, historically, that is what vets have been, actually.
Fair enough.
It's a squad of the special guys, right? I am not excited about this at all.
Me either. And I say that as a Space Wolves player. I want to like get in there and charge stuff, and this does not excite me at all.
No.
This is the closest thing in this box that I want, and I'm still not excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they even say same jump kit as the Assault Intercessors with jump packs.
I don't know.
We haven't seen anything for the new land speeder yet. I'm sure we will, but I'm going to guess that it's going to have the same weapon options.
The old land speeder, I think, was it the Storm? I don't remember which one had the minigun on the bottom of it.
Yeah, there's like 4 different versions.
Yeah. So that's the one that they showed in the trailer. I'm assuming it's going to be, like you said, that one's going to be in the box, and they're going to come out with another one later that has more options because...
Or they're going to take this opportunity to consolidate them all into one data sheet.
I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to do that.
I think they will.
Really?
Yep. It'll either be one data sheet with more options, or they're just going to kill all the old ones. And you just get this one thing with only one option.
No, so this is not... The new kit is a Storm Speeder.
Yes.
This is a Land Speeder remake, I think. So I think they will be 2 separate kits. The Storm Speeder is still going to have 3 different options.
Oh, okay.
So it's all done. Anyway.
And then the chaplain is a chaplain. He does chaplain.
Jump chaplain.
Yeah,
there
whatever.
literally exists one right now who's just firstborn sized and not primary sized.
Right. For the orcs, we don't know as much. We haven't gotten around to the orcs yet.
Yeah.
We've seen that we're getting new boys.
We're getting new boys.
Again.
They're consolidating their data sheets.
Which is finally. Because that was always the dumb thing about the... Well, the dumb thing isn't that they came out with data sheets for boys with ranged weapons and boys with choppas.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
The dumb thing is that then they made the kit not be able to build all of one unit.
They had a 10-man kit that built 4 ranged weapons, 5 melee weapons, and a leader. Which makes no sense whatsoever. You literally can't do that.
And you can't choose.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, it was just a giant middle finger of a kit. And
which is why we still have the kit on the GW store that is old enough to drink.
The as everyone knows them, the Twerkin boys.
Yep, the Twerkin boys.
With their butts out. Like, twerking backwards. They charge rearwards into the enemy.
So basically, I think this means... But that means this is going to be another new orc kit.
And here's the thing. Like, I'm glad they're finally doing it.
Yeah.
That could have just been done with a rules change and not a new kit.
Yep, I agree.
So, but I mean, whatever. It is a new kit. But the current Orc Boys models are fine. They hold up well.
They look great as long as you ignore the fact that they literally don't work rules wise.
Right. Like that's.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Solving a problem they created and selling you the solution is what that is.
I mean, the intercessors too.
Well, that's not even a problem. That's just them creating a problem. And selling it to you.
That's ridiculous. Fair enough.
Yeah.
This is the snake oil rather than just selling you the poison.
Right. Yeah. This is here. Drink this.
What's it do? Don't worry about it. We know there's going to be the walker, as we mentioned.
Yep.
We don't know anything else about that.
Yep. That's probably part of this video is going to be dated the most because it's going to come out like tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. And then the new weird boy.
Yes.
Which
who does need a new model.
It does need a new model. I did not realize was still Finecast.
Yes.
One of the only Finecast things still in the game.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely new weird boy. And weird boy is one of my favorite models. He's great.
So that's it for the models.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably going to be some kind of like war boss or whatever.
Oh, there is. We've seen him. New boss knob. Sorry, let me bring that up.
Oh, yeah.
So, the new boss knob. What's your opinions on this?
I think he's fine. I don't mind him, but he does not look like a boss. He looks a little too normal for me, personally.
Explain.
He's not like orcs are supposed to be like big and flashy because the bigger and stronger they get, the more confident they get.
Would it help if he was put next to another orc? Because I have a feeling that he will be a lot bigger than another orc if you put him next to one.
He looks like he's on a 40 mil.
I'm betting he is, but normal orcs are on 32s, right?
Yeah.
But like he's
maybe if he was a little bit bigger. I'm used to the like boss orcs that have like big armor, power claw, like some kind of backpack or something, and he has none of that. He just seems a little normal for me.
So my guess is that we will get another kit with those options.
Sure.
Hopefully. I like him. His gun is very extra, which I like.
Yeah.
I think he looks enough like a boss knob. I like that he has a squid.
So yeah, so this is probably my problem. Is I'm thinking of a war boss who is the captain equivalent. This is a boss knob
who's a lieutenant
equivalent.
Yes.
Bigger, stronger, and flashier. They rule over boys. This might actually just be the leader of the boy squad. If this is the leader of the boy squad, I'm going to be a little more disappointed. So it says lead mobs of orc boys. So I don't know if that means that he is a literal leader that can go in that squad, or he is.
I'm pretty sure he is a. They mentioned he's his own model. Yeah.
Okay.
But he can go with them.
Yeah. So he's lieutenant equivalent.
But
so
yeah,
that kind of makes
this
sense.
is not a war boss.
So yeah, what I'm thinking is the war boss. So he's the in between. He's not a boy, but he's not a war boss. He's in between there, which is probably why I'm having trouble with him.
Yeah.
For that, I think he looks fine.
Yeah, I think he's lieutenant-y.
Yeah. So why would you ask my opinion? Do you have your own opinion?
Because I've heard a lot of people saying that they don't like this model.
Oh, I think the model looks fine.
Or that I've heard people say that it doesn't look orky, which I think is weird. Yeah. Or that it doesn't look.
It's extremely orky.
That it looks not fun orky, which like is just the direction that 40k orcs have been taking for a long time.
I don't even agree with that.
If you compare this guy, yeah, I think he looks like he's having a great time.
Yeah.
If you compare this
to
to motorcycle jump.
Oh
guy,
yeah.
Like he's not quite that level of what the heck.
Yeah.
But I think I like this model.
So my only actual problem with the model, thinking of him not as a first of all, look at that man.
Well, yeah, he's got the little squid.
He's got the model of the year on his shoulder.
Which by the way, this was in the
it was one of the rumor engines
ages ago.
Yep. I love that. I love that little guy. Anyway, my only problem with his is he only has a chainsword.
For now.
He should fare again.
We are dealing with a launch box. He could have a lot of different things.
He could have like a power axe or something like that,
right?
To make him a little beefier. But no, I think this guy's fine.
Interesting. Okay, I like him too. But all right, so I think that's it for the models.
Yeah.
That we've seen so far for the launch box. Obviously, there's going to be other models coming. I mean, there's a whole bevy of things dropping with Imperial Guard.
Yeah, but that's not new edition.
No, it's not.
That's old edition.
But it's going to be in the new edition.
The first thing we should mention is something that's not changing, which is your codex.
I was going to lead off with one last question.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Are we getting Perturabo? Not at launch, but do you think we're
In
getting
11th?
Perturabo in 11th?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
I don't think they would make art for him unless he was getting a model.
I don't know, man. They made art for Malekith.
They did?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know
At
that.
I mean, he has a different name now. Malarian is his name now. Yeah, there's art for Malarian in like the first Age of Sigmar core book, and it's just never ever been used. He's like this weird shadow dragon demon guy. He looks amazing. It's why I want Balerian shadow elves. Never gotten them. Wrong game. Anyway.
Yeah, different game.
That being said, I think we're also getting Perturabo. And I'll be there for that.
So basically, I saw a lot of people online saying the artwork means that he is either 100% in production or never coming. And those are the two options.
Hope it's not the second one.
Yeah, me too.
All right. But anyway, as you were saying,
the first thing we got to talk about is you are keeping your codex. This is not a codex reset. This is a 1.5 edition.
Which leans into the theory that they're doing a codex reset every other edition.
Yes. Because they did it with 8th, they did it with 10th, even editions apparently.
Yes.
So this one is just, it's changing a little bit how your list building works, and mostly actually how objectives work.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So the big thing is for objectives. I guess we'll start with objectives before we go to detachments.
Sure.
The circle objective marker is dead. As someone who bought the circle objectives from GW, thanks.
Yeah. They have sold multiple multiple 40k circle objectives, and now they're dead.
Yes. So now it's pieces of terrain.
Yes.
And their footprints. That could go either way.
Yes, I am interested to see what exactly it means, because we have not seen yet. They did show us a little bit on the way that objectives are chosen, which we will get to. But like, so does that mean, so that has to mean that every board has to be at least a little symmetrical.
Right.
Because if I have a big piece of terrain and you have a little piece of terrain and they're the same points, how does that work?
Right.
So that's what I'm a little iffy.
It also means the terrain needs to be playable.
Yes.
Because if it's like a big, one of the big galvanic stacks, which you can't actually stand a model on, like, yeah, there's footprints.
Sure.
And we'll see if they're standardized footprints or not.
Yeah, they showed, I think it was today or yesterday, some amount of the footprint stuff, but it's not like exactly a 12x12 or a 6x6 or whatever. Yeah, they went over that a little bit.
Yeah.
They were like, that makes sense being like, 12x6, which is what we currently have for our footprints.
Yes.
But if you scroll down a little bit, like these are a little bit wonky on the sides, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be just for like show.
Right. And it says these layouts have been designed for this specific battle in mind, so you're not using the same footprints. I will tell you that one thing that today's article did that I hate is that, like, what's the terrain full of here? L-shaped ruins.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping they would use this opportunity to get away from the L-shaped ruins, and instead it seems like, well, that's what we sell, so
here's more of
ruins
it
for everybody. Like, they have a bunch of terrain that's not L-shaped ruins.
Yeah,
but
it's just not usable in 40k.
And everyone hates the L-shaped ruins. Nobody likes looking at, like, we were at Adepticon, and did you look at any 40k boards and go, ooh, ah? No, because they're most boring things in existence, because it's nothing but L-shaped ruins on, like, this doesn't look different than what we already had.
Right. There are some, like, lines and stuff, like they mentioned, there's, like, long pieces of terrain, but even then, that's just a wall.
And you've got things like, you know, these little things here where it's like, okay, these are counting as cover, or counting as the terrain, despite not being L-shaped ruins. But yeah, I don't know. I got to see how this works.
Yeah, I agree. So this is also looking like, because they constantly Ouroboros and leech off of each other, the current Age of Sigmar General's Handbook, which is when you pick a mission, your where your objectives and where your terrain is already determined. Like they are inherently linked. In 40k, they're not. They were, you have a mission, and then here are your suggested ones that you could use. But them just being like, turn this card over, here is what your battlefield looks like, is not currently in the game. But in Sigmar it is, and I think that's going to be more along the lines of what it is in 40k.
And of course, here's the real kicker. A set of terrain area footprints will be available to purchase alongside the new edition.
My God.
Like,
I just saw the measurements. 7 by 11.5.
Yes.
Go screw yourself.
So it's all 8.5 by 11. I mean, no, 8 by 11.5. It's not even. Yeah. Not even a A4 piece of paper.
So, but like the current one,
it does say you can create your own.
I understand. I get that.
And you're going to have to, because you can't.
7 by 11.
If I wasn't in the corner, I would have walked off dramatically as a.
7 by 11.5 really pisses me off because the current rectangles are 6 by 12.
Exactly.
That pisses me off so much.
Yep. Like, and do not tell me that there was any kind of like advanced math behind this. They did it so that you had to make new ones. Yep. Okay.
Now the 6 by 4s are
that's normal.
The current,
they couldn't come up with anything for that.
The current small ones.
Yeah. Like.
Anyway,
I was very excited about this until I saw today's article, and then that kind of destroyed my excitement about this.
I mean, it's just more of the same, which is really annoying.
Well, they did, however, say that what this unlocks is like, because nothing actually changes, you can use, like, they have all their L-shaped ruins on here, but you could fill it with trees, and it would still function the same.
True.
So hopefully that will at least allow
a little bit of creativity.
Yeah, a little bit of creativity. The other big thing about terrain is that it's all, instead of armor, which never really mattered that much.
It either made you unkillable or AP just cut through it anyway.
Or it didn't matter at all, depending on what you had. Now it's all about ballistic skill.
Which is a big deal.
Yes, that is a big deal. And also, to me, way more intuitive.
Yeah.
That's all, because first off, A, that's how every other game they make works.
Fair.
And B, I have a harder time hitting someone behind cover, not
piercing through their armor.
It was always like, oh, you have exactly the same amount of easiness hitting someone, but apparently you're shooting through the cover, which didn't really feel right with las guns.
That's actually a good point. I somehow never thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't think about the thematics about it, but yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. They also, now what they said that in the preview, what they confirmed today is that it also applies to plunging fire.
Yes. If you have plunging fire, you get +1 to hit.
Yes.
Instead of +1 to your AP. Which means that plunging fire is supposed to just cancel out cover.
Which is good. Which is what it should do. Because if I'm above you, I have an easier time shooting you, not an easier time breaking your armor.
Yeah.
Unless it's a tank. Speaking of tanks, or rather towering things, they now auto get plunging fire within 12 inches.
I saw that and I went, hang on, let me read that again.
Remember at the beginning of this edition when the really big things were just completely out of control and they had to get like constantly nerfed? Are we gonna do that again?
They already put out, well, no, because then the books came out. Yeah.
Gonna do it again. What's new, old is new again.
Imagining all of my Chaos Knights just having +1 to hit all the time.
No, you gotta go within 12 inches.
My dream world. Yeah, that's true.
Which with the Chaos Knight, you
with
wanna
Chaos
do.
Knight, I'm going to do anyway.
Yeah.
Imperial Knights, maybe not.
Yeah. So,
We can talk about the detection radius.
yes. Did they give out what the radius was?
It says 15 inches.
15 inches. So it said it's not specific yet, but it says many models can no longer be shot until you either get within 15 inches or they take a shot themselves.
Yes. It's very Into the Dark Necromunda.
Yes.
They get lit up and then they can. So basically, you start the game hidden or whatever it's called, and then until you shoot or get within 15 inches, then they are still hidden and they can't be shot. Yes, it is hidden. Infantry, beasts, and swarm models inside of terrain can be hidden as long as the unit didn't shoot in the current or preceding
There it is.
player turn.
Yeah.
And will be hidden at the start of the game.
Which what I didn't realize in today's article made clear that means that you can go back into being hidden
Yes.
if you don't
If they
shoot.
didn't shoot in the previous turn.
Right. Which is interesting because that means you could hide someone behind an objective, and if you can weather a turn of fire,
Then they have to get closer.
your opponent either has to get closer or it's really trying to break down the whole I'm going to stand in one spot with all of my tanks and guns and shoot you off the table.
Yes.
And even if I don't do it turn 1, I'm going to do it turn 2 or 3, which is a really big problem in 40k.
It is. It is one of the things that most people complain about in 40k,
Right.
other than the L-shaped runes.
Yes. So I'm actually a big fan of that.
Yes, when I saw that, I was very excited because I feel like that's going to make the boards more interesting because the current L-shaped ruins on like
Those are a reaction to the rules.
those are a fix to the rules that are the terrain.
Because that's the only way you can have things exist.
Exactly. Whereas this, if you start the game like that and then you can get into obscuring or hidden terrain, it makes it a little easier to get up the board. You don't have to deploy in cover as much if you just start hidden and you can't be shot.
Right.
Now, I'm assuming there's going to be some stuff to get around this.
Yeah, I'm betting like artillery or like spotters or
Artillery,
whatever.
I'm guessing.
Also, as we get new books, we will introduce new mechanics that completely nullify this.
Yes.
Because that's how Games Workshop does things.
Yes. So I'm excited about this part.
In conclusion, I am less excited about the terrain than I was.
Okay.
Because it sounds like they're not completely fixing everything.
Right.
However, I'm wondering if at the very least that means players can fix more things.
That's fair.
Like, I think this might open the door for, like, okay, if you're still doing hardcore tournament play, then yeah, it's L-shaped ruins all the way down. Nothing's changed. But maybe this means that you can play a really fun game without that and not have to rely on your opponent pulling their punches. Because that's what you have to do right now in 40k.
Yep.
If you want to have a fun narrative game, somebody has to not go for the throat.
Yeah.
And some people can't do that.
The last time I played with a non-GW setup and we just kind of like put stuff on the board, I got completely annihilated in shooting, of course.
Yeah.
And it felt really bad.
Yeah.
So hopefully this helps that.
So then, let's go back to books and detachments.
Yes.
So, like you said, books are not getting... you can still use your old book, unless you're demons.
Hey, they have a book. It's just free online. We're actually better than you.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. Now, but what it does, though, is that your army will feel fresh and new as existing detachments are updated and new ones are added.
I missed the updated part.
So that's the... Well, they didn't say that in the preview. There will be over 70 at launch. In larger games, your army can be built out of several smaller specialized detachment or one large one that covers everything. That's what I'm waiting to see how that works.
I think they mentioned it. Yes, it's this one.
All right.
So basically you have 3 detachment points, and detachments, depending on how strong they are worth the points. So you can take one really strong one or multiple weaker ones and kind of add their rules together.
Right.
The weaker ones, the things that are like 1 detachment point, are generally going to be like, this only gives a benefit to
Phobos Marines.
Phobos
is what it
Marines.
uses in the
Yeah.
article.
So you get a benefit to Phobos Marines, and then you can take another detachment for like a wider rule. So they haven't gone into detail about that yet, but they did say that it's going to kind of be interesting.
Yeah. So they do not have a good track record with this.
Nope. Now, this is another thing that they can adjust. If a detachment is too strong, they can increase the points
Right.
so that you can't mix it with other stuff. But if it's already at 3, you can't go higher than that.
Right. like they don't have a good track record with this, and so I'm really worried.
Yeah.
Because that often what ends up happening is that like, well, you always take this.
Yep.
Especially when that ties into what they call the forced disposition, sorry.
Yeah.
Which is very kill team.
Yes.
Current kill team where you are you have your team archetypes, your recon, security, search and destroy. Detachments will also grant you one or more forced depositions that you'll pick from when building your army. 5 in total. Take and hold, disruption, purge, priority assets, reconnaissance. And when you get to the tabletop, you compare yours to your opponents and find out which missions you'll both be playing.
So if I'm taking hold and you're purge the foe, like I'm probably going to be sitting on the objectives and you're going to be killing stuff.
Right.
For example.
Couple different concerns with this. I'm not going to say problems. Again, this is a track record thing they have issues with.
Yep.
Because the way kill team works is that like this is another balance point that they don't necessarily do very well on. We all remember faction objectives.
Yep.
Which was a huge issue because certain factions just got objectives that they just got to do.
Yeah.
And you don't get to interfere with that.
I for some reason I'm remembering the Sisters of Battle one was like super broken. Or
yeah,
something.
like there's some that are just like auto take.
Yep.
Because they're or auto complete. The thing about the reason why objectives on a board with little like terrain or dots make sense is that you both have the ability to affect them. And the idea is like you know you can get there and get there faster and try and hold it, or you can try and shoot your opponent off it if you're slow, or maybe you're very tough, so you just get there and like don't die. What worries me is things like reconnaissance or take and hold or disruption, where it's, and this is very easily solvable. But if they do the thing where it's like, oh yeah, I have a I have an objective where I just had to put models on each of the 4 corners. Okay, here's my here's my infiltrating models.
Go boop boop.
You have no ability to affect that.
Yep.
This is just I'm just going to get these points. Which is a problem in this edition, too. Where, I mean, they finally nerfed the Biovores and Tyranids eventually, but remember when it was just, they would just launch spore mines up the field and like...
And that would score you like 40% of your secondaries.
And how do you beat that? No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't. You just don't. You don't.
You overwatch my free model to prevent me from getting points.
Yeah.
Which I might get anyway.
Right. Exactly. Not very fun.
Yeah.
And that's my difficulty here. And... I see 5 of these, and that's like, okay, so now you have 5 different ones you're going to try and balance?
Yeah. I think they showed off one of the examples in the one today.
Yeah.
Did we want to look at that? I'm not even sure I read through it. Yeah, I think it was the death trap. Yeah, because it's this one. I don't remember what that one is. And then that's your opponent's
That's
one.
disruption.
Okay, so your disruption, your opponent is taken hold. So that's what this objective is.
Take on a...
and this one, you're taking hold in the opponent's disruption.
Which is weird, because then you have different ones for every combination.
Yes. Which means there's a absolute ton of
25 at least, because 5 times 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love it. Like this
I'm interested to see where this is going, but you're right there. They don't have a great track record.
And this is definitely marks this as an edition where things are not getting simpler.
Yes.
This is a bloat edition.
This is a bloat edition.
Which this is another thing they do every 2 editions. They pare it down.
Camera 3. They're at the end of this edition, they're going to say, we're going to cut down on the rules that are currently in the game because there's too many rules.
Yep. And it's like, we're all trying to find the one who did this.
Yes. The guy who put all these rules in my damn game.
And yeah, like, oh, okay, here's more cards you can buy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm very wary of that.
Yeah, I am too. That was one of the things that where they're like, oh, all of your detachments still work. And also here's 70 more, and also you can mix and match them.
Right.
The amount of rules that you're going to have to know is very large, and I'm hoping there's some way to mitigate that.
I don't
Currently,
think there will
they're
be.
not showing that there is.
Yeah. I mean, it is good that, your detachments that you're getting in all this Armageddon stuff isn't going to go away.
True. I like that they're not scrapping the books. That's great. Because if they went, oh, none of your detachments do anything anymore, that would also feel bad. But adding 70 new ones is a little much.
Yep. Well, here's some rules cut down for you. They're getting rid of the difference between match, narrative, and open. Which, okay, that just sounds like an excuse to not have to write everything as...
Yeah. Don't worry, everything's matched now.
Yeah. Which, I mean, on the one hand, that does make sense.
It does. I just don't like it.
On the other hand, it feels like a cop-out.
It feels like, oh, I mean, nobody plays those anyway, so we're just going to make them all the same thing.
Stratagems, single units can no longer have multiple stratagems stacked on them in a phase, which is nice.
Yep, no stacking your +1 AP and rerolls to hit, like dropping 4 CP in one turn.
Right. They still just need to rein in the stratagems overall
Yes, I agree.
because there's just way too many of them.
So I was okay. I was okay when you got the generic ones, which there was too many generic ones. And then you were 6 from your detachment, and that's fine. But if I can take potentially 3 single detachments and have 18 stratagems,
Yeah, how's that going to work?
We're back to 9th edition.
Right. How's that going to work?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Close combat, order of pile-in and consolidation moves in a fascism for assigning wounds. Order of activation has been changed to help balance the dynamics of fight first units. So, you select your target for a charge after you made the roll.
That I like.
Yes, that is great.
This is, again, very Sigmar. Sigmar does the exact same thing.
In some circumstances, units can disembark from transports directly into combat. So return to the...
Yep. Get in with a rhino.
Yep.
Pile out into combat.
There's other ones not in the article that they mentioned that they so pile-in and consolidation is less about like trying to eke closer to other things, and it all happens at once.
Yes. It's less about that and more about getting into melee.
Right.
And I think it's basically you pile in with everything, your opponent piles in with everything, and then fights happen.
Right.
I don't know how consolidation's gonna work. I don't think it says here.
They talked about it, and I can't remember. I don't think I was able to hear what they were saying due to the technical difficulties.
And then a faster system for assigning wounds is just what we were doing anyway.
That's like, yes, but it does make a difference because there were times where you had to go, wait, you have to roll for this guy individually.
I think you're gonna still have to do that, unless they don't really say
well,
here.
They did in the preview where they were like, it is now assumed that all rolling happens at once.
Okay.
Which means hopefully they're removing things like there was always like the Votan guy who had like the one little bodyguard. I have to roll one at a time until he dies. Nope. Which A, took a long time, and B, was very demoralizing.
It was.
We were just like, oh yeah, he has a 2-up, so nope. It's just, and then
He only has 1 wound, but he ain't gonna die.
yeah, that was so irritating.
The other thing, oh man, I just thought of it while you were doing that. No, I lost it. Oh, we'll get back to it if I think of it again.
I don't know if we're gonna have time because I think that's all we got.
Fair.
So I'm excited to see that, and I hope the rules changes actually reflect that.
Yeah, they haven't really gone into detail about that much,
No.
and I'm interested in what they're gonna change, but whatever.
Yeah. And then of course, they're shilling the app again, which is fine, but you have to,
It's an all new app. We're gonna scrap the old one and give you a new one in a bunch of different.
No,
languages.
it just says major updates to the current app.
Oh, okay.
So they did say that they're not doing yet another new app, new YouTube channel, no new app.
Oh yeah. They had to put all their programmers on one thing, even though YouTube.
It's kind of like if you're gonna make the app basically mandatory to play, you better make it free, and they're not gonna do that.
They're not gonna do that.
So that does not. I don't like that. So yeah. So far, it's like this is not with 10th edition. A lot of us were excited because the end of 9th was really bloated.
It was.
And really annoying.
Yep.
And then 10th edition came out, and a lot of people, including me, were excited to play again. And then kind of the scale started falling from the eyes really quickly. In a lot of cases, like because of like the towering rules.
Sure.
Whereas like, Imperial Knights just win, or like Eldari Knights.
They had to nerf Knights 3 times.
Yeah. And then the objectives being like, oh, you just get to do that, and I don't get to play because my army doesn't have that kind of stuff. Well, that sucks. So far, and then as 10th edition
went on,
more and more cracks started to appear, especially as they started adding new rules that like.
So the current game is very balanced. Between all the factions, the game is very balanced. The problem is what it takes to play the game.
Yes,
can be more difficult.
And the end result is not. It's very balanced, but it's not necessarily fun for a lot of folks.
Yes, that is true. I am having fun. I still play every week. I think the game is great. Some people see it differently.
I definitely think that 10th edition is not where 9th edition was. It's not like people are really jonesing for the end of 10th. There are certainly some problems, mostly just with the terrain.
Yeah.
It feels mostly with that terrain and shooting. So we'll see how much they're actually changing and if they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
I hope not.
Yeah, because a lot of what is there for 10th works pretty okay. Like the basic rules work. And this does feel like they're just kind of tweaking some levers. But there's some things that are like really far and really different, like the new scoring.
Yeah, the new scoring, the combining of detachments. I'm a little worried about. And we're gonna see how they work out with those.
But there's nothing in here that's making me go, oh, oh, wow, I'm so excited to play this edition.
Yeah.
Whereas like at the end of 9th, it was like, oh, hey, that's going to be cool that they're doing this change.
Yeah. That they're updating all these things and they're getting rid of the old stuff that I don't like and that kind of thing.
I'm not getting that vibe here.
Yeah.
But I'm also not seeing anything that makes me go, either. Like, there's some stuff that they aren't historically good with that I'm concerned about.
True.
Obviously, it's way too early to tell. We're not going to see this until July.
Yep.
And of course, by the time this video comes out, I'm sure we'll have 3 more articles that have already outdated it. So if that happens, I would say don't comment, but actually just comment anyway because engagement.
Engagement.
So yeah. So yeah, please update in the comments what has happened between now and the release of this video.
Yep.
And we'll keep talking about 11th as we get more and more information. I do have my army, and I have a book that works.
Yep.
It's not like the end of 9th where the book I got only lasted 6
You
months.
bought the book and it lasted 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I was doing better than World Eaters.
True.
So I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not going, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm also not going to buy that box because I don't care play it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really interested in anything in the box unless there's something that's just like completely not obvious that's gonna come out. So I'm probably not gonna get it. I'm gonna get all the little, the cards and mission pack and all that stuff, whatever. But the box I'm probably not gonna skip. I am excited to play it just because I'm still playing 10th edition and it's just an update to 10th edition.
Yep.
Because it's a 0.5 edition. So I'm definitely looking forward to what they do. Mixing up the missions is always good, in my opinion, especially now that the missions last a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I know there's some qualms about it that might be a little weird, but hopefully they handle it well. Time will tell.
Yeah. Well, let us know below what, if any of this, you're excited for, or if you have reservations, or if you're just completely checked out of Warhammer for some reason.
Yeah, and still watching this for some reason.
I mean, maybe they're here for the Trench Crusade content, which we'll have more of later.
But why are they watching this video?
I don't know.
They just like hearing our sultry voices.
Sultry, yes, definitely. Check us out below. Leave a like and comment, all that good stuff. If you want to talk to us in person, check out our Discord, and we will see you with more 11th edition later.
Bye.